Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video, well, 2 points that I want to go over. One is technical based and one is the macro. And we'll talk about in detail about these 2 points, but there are only two things or 2 points that can save the market right now. Today we have a falling day and it shouldn't be a surprise. I am showing you S&P 500 right now on my screen. I've mentioned this very scenario that we'll have to see stabilization here, and this level above 520.30 area is still a zone of resistance. Structure will not even start to turn around as we stay below this, and that's why that remained the resistance for us. Yes, we had a really great gap up in the market today, this morning, but then eventually by the end of the day we just gave up everything. Now, what are those two elements that I want to talk about? We'll talk about, well, in this video, guys, definitely the macro, and then S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Nvidia, and Tesla. Now, also, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So, S&P 500 is a reflection of what market is already pricing in, all right? And we do have retaliatory tariffs come in from China, and US has added more tariffs. Now they're supposed to go all in effect tonight. 104% total tariffs on China, and there is no other clarity right now coming from White House if how every other tariff is looking like, even though they are talking about the conversations are ongoing with some of the countries, but we don't have any news regarding that. Every statement coming out is dead set on the point that tariffs are scheduled to go at that time, midnight, they will be put in place. Things can change, we don't know, but that's one of the only things, especially China being part of so much of tariffs, and they're just getting on top of each other. We don't know how far this war of tariff trade would go. That is definitive one of the macros. Like, so much stuff on these companies, the big cap companies, especially like Apple, is reliant on China. Things can be pivoted overnight, and also even if they get pivoted, to which other country, right? There are tariffs across the board, and also the only way they can keep, again, we are in the stock market, right? And it's all about how much profits can these companies scoop in, their earnings report, the growth, and that's the point. All that is going to shrink. So in the context of the stock market, things are going to shrink unless we loosen up these tariffs. Regardless of where the manufacturing goes, even if it comes in US, things will still be expensive because of how things works, how the not just the supply chain, but how the labor laws are set up and everything around that, right? How much is the cost of the labor, right? So the reason we live in this world where everything is set as best possible efficient, and that's how these companies have grown so much. Again, I'm not doing any judgment of what's right and wrong based on what is right and wrong for someone based on the context they're looking at the things at. I'm looking at the things from the context of the stock market here. And for the stock market, that's not the good context, that all these frictions that are coming in and the forward-looking outcome is really affecting these companies. Which, so at this point, if things don't turn around tomorrow, we'll talk about the second point technically as well. If by tonight things goes as it is, as what we know, we are in a very dire situation. And though I'm telling you, markets are very efficient, and we are at a point around that very important zone of around 483, which, let's get to the weekly interval first. This is where 200 weeks moving average is. Now, technically, if you do a, let's go to the monthly interval. If you a little bit zoom out of the picture, like, that's fine. It's just a pullback, okay? It's technically just a pullback on the monthly interval. All right, we still have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, but we are getting to the last line of defense at this point. And this is my second point, and which will be compounded with the macro in this particular case, because it's not, this is very also reliant with the macro, right? And there's just so much uncertainty. Now, and that's what it comes down to, this very level of 483. Now, let's get to the weekly interval. So 483 with 200 weeks moving average around area is the zone. So, I mean, well, when I say 483, guys, that's the near-term level, but I mean to say like 466 to 480 is the zone. All right. So this compound together with, if any one of this can resolve itself, either we just, let's say tariff goes full on at the max overnight, and market tomorrow can still close after testing 200 weeks moving average on this area, and it can somehow close back up here, we are still fine in the long run on the market. It may take a while. Look, stabilization, as I have said yesterday, it will take multiple weeks for us to see any pattern to form back in an uptrend for some stability. We are not there right now. But what we are in a mode of, where are those precautionary places? Where are the potential stabilization we should be looking at? And if those break, we're going to open up a complete next lower door of a fall in the market. Now, what would those places be? Let's take a look at while we are on this topic, and then we'll, other things as we'll go through the other stocks as well. So I'm just going to move timelines on my tools, and if you need access to my tools, guys, that helps you in identifying everything: long, short trade, day trade, swing trade, whatever you want to do. A lot of tools and everything. Check out the details in the description of this video. It will help you to trade the market both on the long and the short side. You will also get onboarding videos, everything. So your choice is yours. Check out the details in the description of this video, because we exited the market using the tools back up here, and that's why I have this circle. So much of things, like, we didn't have to go through the drawdown, because tools helps in all of that. Tools helps you what is the play, bullish or bearish, on all the intervals based on your trading style. Again, check out the details in the description if that helps you. All right. So, or if you're interested in that, okay, check out the details. Okay. Now, that definitely, this is the zone 466 around area. Unfortunately, if we lose any of this, right? So I think I want to expand this zone. I know it's going to be quite a big zone, but hey, that's what it is, guys. Okay, so it's a zone. It's a zone that, as if we lose, it's going to be very dire for S&P 500, and that has a room to bring us to $420 on S&P 500. And if we, like, S&P 500, guys, 200 weeks moving average, when was the last time it lost it? I can't remember the time. It just tested below that in 2020, and then before that it was like 2008 financial crisis. It took it 2 years to get out of it. And yes, we are extended, but let's see. And that's why it's very important area, 200 weeks moving average. And not just that, it's a technical important level as well. But this is where, let's say, if any of the things, if let's say tariffs goes full on tonight, right? Let's say full on, and market can still close tomorrow above this blue box, and better if just around like 484 above, with a green candle with some buying pressure, it's not bad. Okay, it's not bad. And anyways, as for today, I already mentioned that eventually the overall structure is not going to be bullish, because this resistance is up there still. We are seeing we're still rejecting there, right? So let's see what happens. That's S&P 500. Though we are technically in a full-on downtrend, near term, any uptrend, well, even if near term intraday, as you can see, we lost one of the significant level, 510. That was the one of the important ones that lost the structure, the trend, everything, and we are just collapsing. There is no point in looking any uptrend even from where we are. Let's say price stays here, we'll have to get above 502 before we even turn in some strength possible again. Otherwise, you will be watching a rebound closer to 200 weeks moving average if that happens. Otherwise, no, we are just weak. And we'll see what happens tonight. And there's still time, but we don't have enough time. So it seems like it's gonna it's gonna go down, as in like it's tit for tat. It's like two mega powers are gonna go full on with their power. And it's excuse me, sorry guys, and it's not China from 20 years ago. China has, is one of the superpowers. It's very powerful, and its economy is very advanced, and they might not really, they're still export reliant, but they have expanded their influence across the globe, and they are even self-sufficient and self-reliant in many of the innovations, the technologies and everything. So the world is different. So we'll see where we go, but it's the test of the power is what's going on, right? Who will bow down? Well, if no other country has anything to lose, well, no one will bow down, right? It's all political power display right now. So anyways, stock market is in pain, but these are the two elements that we'll see how things results on that. Well, I'm on NASDAQ 100 right now, and yeah, so yeah, we just talked S&P 500, but now NASDAQ 100. So similarly, well, guys, 406 again, same scenario with like S&P 500. If we can still stabilize here after all that bad stuff, we can see if stabilization build eventually, and this is on NASDAQ 100. And unfortunately, if we start to lose like 386 area, right, on S&P 500, it was, I mentioned that 466 to 480 area. So it's yeah, so anyways, so yeah, if you start to lose it, then on NASDAQ 100 we will unfortunately start to open up the doors like over here, all the way down to like 334. Okay, and unfortunately that will be losing like 200 weeks moving average. We will see, but right now that's pretty much the scenario. We'll see how things turns around if they can here. All right, we are pretty much at the last line of defense here. If anything would have to turn around. All right, now this is Tesla. So Tesla is also in the well, downtrend, rejected the $250 area above, and well, this is, if we lose this area 220, it's going to open up the doors to 174. Again, everything is dependent on tonight. But as for the technicals, if Tesla has to turn around from where it is, and even if near term some stabilization or uptrend has to form, 228 above is what we can be looking at. But if we stay below 228, weakness will persist. If we get above this 226 to 228, in near term rebound is possible until 234 and 236, but nothing more than that right now. Only above that, if we can close tomorrow above it, then only I would say we are safe back in, and things may start to look better for tomorrow, for the day after, in an uptrend. Otherwise, no. Near term rebound only above 226, almost until 235. If we get above 226, start to get above that. If we do, otherwise no. 226 to 228 below. If we resist there, stay below it, weakness will persist on Tesla, and that will be a downside day. And only structure for multi-day will only gain strength if tomorrow we can close above 235 area on Tesla. That's all what you need to know. All right, so that's Tesla. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Again, my tools will help you in all of this, guys. Okay, Nvidia, I would say though, Nvidia is still fine. Its price action is still good. All right, and it's just fine. I mean, it's just fine in a way that, guys, we are, let's get to the weekly interval. We are still in the demand zone. Okay, this particular demand zone, this is where we are getting bought back out. The direction on the weekly interval is still down. Why I'm saying it's fine just for yesterday and today, the way things are. So it's, what I'm trying to say is that there is a possibility, if Nvidia can hold through this, all the bad stuff above 91, still it can still weather this storm, because technicals are supporting some stabilization here. Technicals are supporting that it can hold through. But where is back again in an uptrend possibility? 97 above, some strength will come. 97 and 45 cents above, some strength is possible. Better would be 100 above. If Nvidia can again do it, we are good, fine again. You will have to trade it intraday though, just because of the uncertainty. And 97 above, some near-term strength will come, but if we reject at $100, you gotta be cautious again, right? And if we reject there and come back down or even stay below 97.29 area, and then weakness will persist, and then it can again retest this $90 area, $90 to $91 area. If we lose eventually $90 and $91 area, then there is no even possibility of stabilization, and accordingly size in and size out your positions, right, based on what you're doing intraday or swing, right? But I do still see that Nvidia is still has a room to maneuver out of it, right? But across the board, we are at pretty much the last line of defense. Now, as I said early in the video, it comes down to tonight, and it comes down to those S&P 500 levels. It's all about that. Only these two things can save market. And if any one of this can hold through, these 2 points, if any one of them can hold through as what we just talked about, we may be looking at something that may work out. Now, earnings season is going to start. All right, let's see when some of the big earnings like Microsoft. Well, there's still time, but the earnings season is starting, guys. Earnings season is starting. All right, like, yeah, it's just not too far away. We are just very close to a month, almost just shy of a month. But it's starting, and we'll see what revisions they come up with, but it will be interesting. All right, that's all I had for you guys in this video. I did a video for the members yesterday where I talked about buying opportunities in some of the stocks. Check out those details in the description of this video. If you are interested, there are links to the memberships for tools and also for those type of stocks coverage that I do. Details are in the description of this video. And with that, I'll see you in the next videos. Take care. Bye.